Okay, Hewlin, I'd like to ask you some questions so that people all over the nation and world can learn more about all your secrets and how you got involved with camellias. And let's begin by let me ask you, how did you first get interested in camellias?
Well, first of all, let's clear the air on one thing. I have no secrets. We're going to talk about methods of doing things and the way that I do them, and there are no secrets.
No secrets. Well,
Help.
who was I remember you told me there was the first man that you bought a camellia from. Remember?
Mr. Ernest
Yeah,
McDonald.
Ernest McDonald. That's right, and he
Yeah.
he was here in Valdosta, right?
That's right. Fine gentleman. Fine gentleman. I bought my first camellia from him. I thought they were the most beautiful plant in the world, and I still feel that way. Ernest McDonald.
You remember the first? Well, do you remember the first plant
Debutante.
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 Yeah.
He was a fine gentleman. Did a fine job of growing them, and the super nice guy.
But who were some other most influential people that helped you learn to grow camellias? We've heard you mention Jim Pinkerton and Ray Gentry and Frank Purcell and
Well, they all came along at different times. Mr. McDonald was a japonica man. He was there on the early edge of growing japonica, and we grew those out before we got started with the hybrids. And Mr. McDonald was just a fine man and a fine grower, and did a super fine job growing japonicas. Then along came Ray Gentry. And the way I got involved with Ray Gentry, I needed some things to get into the grafting. You know, you start out rooting and you start out growing and you graft plants, and then you move up each time, each season you move up. You do something different every year, and you get to growing more and more and more plants. And that's what happened with me. There's nothing, no secret there. It was just a process of adding more material every year.
Now Frank Purcell, he was a California man.
He was a California
Now, how
man
did you
on
get
hybridized.
as far away? How did you get to know him?
I got to know him through Ray Gentry. Ray was a hybrid man, and I got to know Ray. I got to know Ray Gentry from his. The way it all happened was like this. I needed some cuttings that Ray had that I didn't have, and I called him. Back then I didn't have any plants or any money, and I called him at home and told him that I needed some pounds, and would he tell me if he had them, and if he did, I'd like to place the order with him, and I'd mail him a check. He said, I was a young man at that time. He said, son, you don't have to mail me a check. You just tell me what you want, and they'll be in the mail. So I told him that he mailed them, and I grafted them, and they live. And I'm not going to tell you that all of mine live, but those live. And he sent me a bill with it, and I mailed him a check. And during the year, he'd call me every now and then, want to know how my grafts were doing. And he saw our friendship just sort of mushroomed, grew from that. And I got to know him even better as time went along.